Hey there, welcome to my channel. My name is Linda. Today I've got some last minute every time. Number 2. Hey there, welcome to my channel. My name is Linda. Today I have some last minute Christmas gift and decor ideas. So what are we waiting for? Let's get started. Let's begin with project number 1. For this project, I'm going to be using my Vevor heat press machine again, 5-in-1 heat press, as well as the sewing machine. I will have links down below if you want to go check those out, as well as the link to original video where I do unbox these. We do a couple of projects, etc., etc. I know it's right before Christmas, but I really do love like this heat press machine and stuff, and it's so versatile, easy to use, and may still have time to put it on your wish list, just saying. So, but for today, I want to do some mugs with this. So some really quick, easy Christmas gifts with the mug, and I'll just show you how easy it is to kind of change out the attachment for a mug press, all right? So for the mug press, it looks like this, and it's got this hose on it, of course, and as you can see, the actual heat press over here to the side, we get to leave that attached, okay? All we need to do is unhook the hose and then hook up the hose from the mug press into that. For some attachments, you do have to kind of take off the whole heat press, which is real easy to do. It's just that center portion where you remove the screws and take it off, but you know, that's another story. Anyway, just unplug the one from the main heat press, and of course, we'll use that later in this video, and then you plug in the one from the mug press. Now, I actually just put a little box down and put this right here because I'm on the opposite side and I wanted it up a little bit higher, so because the hose is so short. And yes, I could have put it on the right side, but there was a little bit of clutter in the way, so I'm doing it this way. Anyway, so I want to set the temperature and the time. I just hit the gear button. It'll flash in the temperature section. I'm going to put that at 385, and then I hit the gear button again to go to the time, and then I want to put that at 120 seconds, and then I hit the gear button again to set it, and then we'll move on to our mugs. So I've got a couple of mugs here, and I wanted to try sublimation. I don't have any of the material to do it, but I have a sweet friend, Barb, who does. So I went on Etsy. I'll have the links down below, and I selected a couple of Grinch PNGs, and then she printed them out for me, and I'll put it on one side. But then I decided, because these are going to be gifts, that I wanted to put my sister-in-law's name on the other side, and I didn't want to go back to Barb, so I used my electronic cutting machine, my Cricut, and some infusible ink sheets, picked out a font, I'll have that listed down below, that matches this PNG, and we're going to put that on the other side. And at this point, I'm curious to see if the difference between sublimation and the infusible ink transfers are going to be just as bold and vibrant together. Okay, so the first thing that we have to do is we want to clean off our mug. So it says, you know, use like a lint roller, obviously, because if you don't do that and there's any dust on there, and like especially on your transfers, and the dust gets in on your transfer as you tape it over that dust, then when you pull it up, there's going to be that little white spot that the ink didn't transfer because of the dust. So you want to take your lint roller and roll it down on your cup. Make sure it's all dust-free and try not to touch those areas when you're done. And then go ahead and center your design on your cup. This takes me a little bit, so I actually kind of do it off camera, but center the design. You're going to need some heat transfer tape. Regular tape won't work. You want heat transfer because you don't want that tape to melt in the hot of the mug press. And then center your designs front and back and get ready to go. So here it is. I've got both sides just taped into position. Just like that, nice and easy. And you can see I'm just going to go ahead, and I like to tape all the way down around it. Some people use little tape, some people use a lot of tape. I'm a lot of tape girl. So taping all the way around. And then once I do that, I'm going to take a couple of pieces of butcher paper here and then just wrap around the mug. And it's just going to kind of add a little bit more protection to your design. I like to do 2 pieces, the length of the mug and the height of the mug, and then just add a couple pieces of transfer tape underneath the handle. Yes, we have a kitty joining us today. All right, get one more piece on there, and then we're going to our mug press. Everything's ready to go. Mug press is ready. You can slide it in. Now, go ahead and slide it in, and this is going to wrap over. The handle is not going to get hot, but the mug will. I mean, if you have heat-resistant gloves, great, but you're safe to touch the handle. Once I get it in there, I'm going to take the handle of the mug press, get my mug where I want it, making sure both designs are covered, and then, of course, push that lever so that the mug press is closed. And then I'm just going to come over and hit my go button, and it's going to count us down 120 seconds. Now I do 2 mugs, I do 2 mugs, but the other one I just do off camera because it's the same process here. Once the timer goes off, I release the lever. Again, the handle is safe to touch, but do not touch the rest of it. And it's so hot. I mean, it took probably 20, 30 minutes. You want it completely cooled down and then peel your transfer off. If you try to peel it hot, it might ruin your, process or your design or whatever is what I'm trying to say. So now I'm going ahead and removing everything, removing all the tape. And of course, I just want you to see this whole process. And yeah, the color and the vibrancy between the infusible ink and the sublimation looks like I did it either all infusible ink or all sublimation. I didn't see any difference at all. And when I'm done, I have 2 cute mugs for a set, nice, quick, and easy to do. And you can put them in a basket if you want, with their favorite coffee or tea drink or something like that. Just really quick and easy and makes a great gift. Now I'm going to wait to show you the final looks of this at the very end because, well, you're looking at it right now. But first, I want to have a quick little chat. No worries. Everything is okay. So before we move on to our next project, I wanted to take a couple of moments and just talk to you about a couple of things. Number 1. Did you like that? Number 1. This whole year, I have not taken a break from my channel. Don't freak out. It's a short break. Even when we were gone on vacation, I made sure I had videos out and stuff for you. But this coming week on December 23rd, which is my usual Saturday at 8 a.m. See, it's not bad. 1 week. I'm going to take some time and enjoy just family and friends and Christmas and celebrating Jesus. And I want you to promise me that you're going to do the same. Okay? So, December 23rd, no video. And then we're going to come back on December 30th with another video. Okay? 1 week break. Seriously, not so bad. All right? But promise me, you're going to have fun with your friends and your family and celebrate Christmas and celebrate Jesus. And I'm giving you great big squeezy hugs. Okay? Now, number 2. I have decided, I've been on YouTube since 2011. And when I started YouTube, I'm like, hey, they have some cute names for their channels. And so me believing in Jesus gave myself the name Faith Chick. But I've decided it's time to just be a normal adult. The DIY by Design is still going to be there, but I'm just going to change it to Linda's DIY by Design. Okay, nice and easy. And my little icon picture is still going to be there, so you're going to recognize it's me. It's still going to come out Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. I'm going to be changing all of my, headers on my Facebook group and Instagram and my blog and everything. It's just going to say Linda's DIY by Design. Okay, what's my name? Linda's DIY by Design. Nice and easy, but still every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. All right, let's move on to project number 2. For this project and the next one, you all know I love my holiday pillows. So for this first pillow, I've got 2 pieces of fleece fabric. It is 20 inches long, 15 inches tall. I got this fabric in store at Joann's. All right, this next is another piece of fleece. And fleece is, one side fuzzy, another side not so fuzzy. So I'm going to use the not so fuzzy side. It's 16 inches long and 11 inches tall, basically about 4 inches less in diameter as the back. I want to add some pom-poms to this. Now these are already made. It came with this yarn that you can make a scarf with. I picked up like 4 bundles at a thrift store. So mine are already done, but you can definitely use a pom-pom maker and whatever size you want, whatever color yarn you want to go with your pillow. And I'm going to put a pom-pom in each of the 4 corners. Of course, like I said, this is optional. So for this front piece, I made sure I cut it really, really straight. I used a rotary cutter and a mat because I don't want the sides are going to stick out. And then I've made a free printable for you. It's just going to be a PDF printable, okay? I'll have the link in the description box to my blog for you. And it's so you can use it to just print out onto fabric if you want using an inkjet printer. And on that same blog post, there is a link to a video that shows you how to print onto fabric using an inkjet printer. I don't know how it works with the laser printer. It's only for inkjet, okay? Again, I'm on the least fuzzy side. For those of you that want to cut this out with the electronic cutter, I will have the font listed below in the description box because it's going to be faster for you to just type it in yourself than trying to clean out a PNG image that I make for you, okay? So I'm just cutting off some red fuzz on there because I don't want it to stick to my white fabric here. So I've got my quote sized out, and then I'm going to just go ahead and put it in the center of the back side of the fleece. All right, and I'm just measuring here because, you know, I like my things measured out so it's actually even side to side, top to bottom. And then we're going to take it to the heat press. Remember, we unplugged it, so we've got to plug this back in, right? Make sure your power's off when you do this. And so I unplugged my mug press off camera, and I'm just going to screw back in this part of the big flat heat press. I'm going to turn it on, and again, how I told you earlier, using the gear button and do my settings here, 355 degrees. Normally I go about 30 seconds, and I do set it at 30 seconds here, but then I come back in for another 20 seconds. Because of it being fleece, I want to make sure that, and it's got a little bit of texture to it, I want to make sure that the vinyl is really going to stick to it. So I do 355 at 50 seconds. I'm going to swing the top out of the way, place my design in the middle on the pad, being careful not to touch anything hot because, again, I don't have heat-resistant gloves. And then I'm going to place a piece of butcher paper over the top, kind of protect the design a little bit, and then swing the thing back over. I keep saying the top. Do the top, the top, the top, the top. And then I'm going to push the lever down so it gets nice and tight against the design, and I'm going to hit that go button. I really can't say enough about this machine because it's so affordable and it does so many things. It's affordable than a lot of other, you know, heat machines out there. And I only need one machine, and, you know, it comes with all these attachments. So I love this. Again, the links will be down below in the description box for your wish list. Anyway, so once it's done, I undo the lever, right? Swing the top out of the way and pull this off, again, being careful because it's very hot. Now, this vinyl actually stuck very, very well to this fleece. But when I first started, and I can actually peel this warm or cool, but I went ahead and let it cool off. When I first started, I was trying to make sure to peel slow, and then because I was afraid the very edges of the letter would pull up because of the texture of the fleece. And so see here, like I'd kind of try and hold it down a little bit and then pull up, and I just peel a little bit at a time. Nothing came up. Everything was stuck perfectly, but I just really wanted to be careful. So I'm going to do most of this off camera. No issues with it. And it didn't even pull like the fleece and give any stretchy spots or anything like that I was a little bit concerned about too. Now, had I done it on the more fluffy side, might have been some issues, but by doing it on the back, a little bit more smoother side, no problems. But see, even here, it looks like it's just going to pull that letter right up, but it doesn't. Right here, I just kind of grab the end and make sure, and then up we go, and everything is stuck beautiful. All right, so now we're back to our pillow. We're going to take our front quote and lay it onto the top piece of our pillow. And I, of course, am going to make sure I'm centered from, you know, right to left, top to bottom. And I'm going to sew around it, right? But those of you that are gluers, you can go ahead and use your glue and glue it on. All right, it'll look just fine. Now, when I take this to my sewing machine, I'm going to do like a double border around it just to give it a little something extra. And I am using the Vevor sewing machine, of course. It is a good machine, but it's so powerful. I mean, it just, there's nothing you can do to stop the power of it. You just have to learn to work with the pressure of your foot on the pedal. And as many times as I used it with this project, I finally got the pressure right. So it does take a little bit of patience in getting to learn it, but it's great for just a basic straight stitch, you know, machine. It works wonderful. So again, I'm just kind of doing a border all the way around it, about a 1/4 inch in, and I'll go a 1/4 inch in from that and do another sewing border around it. And I just do the other one off camera. I just wanted to show a little bit of the machine just to, you know, show you it. And again, I'll have links down in the description box in case you want it on your wish list. So here's what it looks like. A couple border stitches all the way around. And now we're going to go ahead and put our pillow together. So you're going to take your bottom piece of your pillow and put it so right side up, which is basically the pretty side up. And we're going to take this piece we've been working with and we're going to flip it over. So your pretty sides of each flannel piece are together, okay? We're not going to leave the seams out like we usually do. We're going to make it all look tucked in and sewed. If you're a gluer, start at one edge and go all the way around in between the layers right near the edges. And when you come almost to the end, stop and leave, about 5-6 inches open for stuffing. Of course, those of you that are sewers, you'll take it to the sewing machine. You're going to do the same process all the way around, leaving a little bit of an opening for stuffing. But I am going to show you one little thing I did when we go to add our pom-poms, and this tip came from a viewer, and why I never thought about it, I don't know, but thank you, thank you, thank you. So I am sewed all the way around, left an opening for stuffing, and now we're going to put our pom-poms in. Now when you do your pom-poms, make sure you leave a nice long string here, because you have to do a piece of yarn around the center to tie your pom-pom together. Do a nice long string, okay, probably 12 inches or so. You'll cut most of it off, but you want a nice long string. So when we go to add our pom-pom, make sure that your quote piece of the pillow, that side of the pillow, is facing up. And we're going to do this easy. We're going to make a little cut in each of the 4 corners. Again, we're just going to make it easy. I'm going to use this long tail and a doll needle to get our pom-pom into the corner. But what I want you to do is go to the very corner, right at that juncture, right at that point, and that's where we're going to take some scissors, not on the back side, only on the front, okay? And we're going to just make a tiny little slit. See how tiny that little slit is? Because we don't want it too big or the pom-pom's going to come through and be loose. Tiny little slit, and because we don't want that little slit to show. We're going to do this versus sewing our pom-pom in. I think it's going to be easier. So see, tiny little slit, and I want to show you this tip. Thank you, thank you, thank you, that I got. Normally I leave this whole side open, but when I went to sew it, and you can do this gluing too, I actually started sewing where I leave the opening about 1 inch in on that side, and then I turn the corner so that I have a nice point here to put the pom-pom, because normally I don't have that little inch right there. Do you know what I'm saying? It's all the way open. So by doing that, it actually gave me a pronounced corner here to put our pom-pom. All right, so now I'm using, this is an upholstery needle. They come in a multi-pack, 3 or 4, something like that at Walmart, very cheap. I'm putting my long tail through that upholstery needle. You can use whatever size needle you want. I just grabbed the tallest one. And that way we're going to thread this through that little hole using that needle. All right, so we're just coming out the edge there and pulling it all the way through nice and tight till we feel that pom-pom meet that hole right there. And you can kind of feel it because you know where you made your little knot when you tied the pom-pom together, right? And then I'm just going to tie a couple of knots here like this, separate strings, and then I'm going to bring both strings together right up against that hole. Do it a couple of times so it makes a nice big knot so it won't go through that hole, okay? Nice and tight right up against it. All right? And I do that actually about 3 times, make it nice and big. I'm so concerned that it's going to pull through. But you're going to do that in every corner. I got to pause for a funny moment here for you. Bella loved these pom-poms, and she'd sneak onto my craft desk and she'd grab it and walk around the house with it, and I'd have to go chase her down and grab it. And so then as I'm turning around going back in, she's right behind me jumping on the craft desk to grab the next pom-pom, and it was just freaking hilarious. I had to give her one of them. Pause is over. Let's move back to our project. So there is my pom-pom. What I did after I tied the initial knot, I went up about 1/4 inch and tied a couple more knots. So for some reason that initial knot came through, I had a secondary knot back up basically. And then look, you can see Bella's still trying to get at this pom-pom. She would not leave these alone. It was hilarious. So once you got all 4 in, just go ahead and kind of cut off the excess. I left just, a couple inches tail because it's fine. It's just going to go in with the stuffing. It's just my preference. You could cut it more short if you want. And then what we're going to do is end up turning our pillow now right side out. And this pillow, when I got done with it and I turned it right side out and looked at it, it just reminded me of a Whoville, a Cindy Lou Who pillow, like their winter hats and mittens with the pom-poms on top. I think it was the color choices, but I love it. I love how it turned out. Anyway, so now what you're going to do is go ahead in and stuff your pillow as tight as you want it stuffed. Make it nice and full. I like mine really tight, so, I use probably half of a bag of stuffing to stuff this with. She's still trying to get the pom-poms. And then once that's done, you're going to close up your opening. I'm sorry I'm off camera, but those of you that are gluers, what you're going to do on that opening is fold those raw ends, that cut end of the fabric, in toward your stuffing so that you hide those ends and then glue it all the way across. I'm going to use a needle and thread and do it. So those of you sewers, you can needle and thread it. If those of you are gluers, you might still want to needle and thread it. Or if you want to try it, the link to my blog in my description box. Again, there's a little link in that blog post that shows you how to like sew by hand. But again, I'm doing the same thing. I've got my raw edges turned in toward the stuffing, and I'm going to sew it all the way across till it's closed, and that makes this project complete. Let's move on to our last project, number 3, another pillow. And again, Bella is right in our way. I'm going to use some fleece fabric here. This fleece is just from either Walmart or Hobby Lobby. And for my next fleece fabric, this is actually a blanket from Walmart. It's a $3 blanket. You get about 2 yards in it. Our Walmart didn't have any cream or white blankets, but if they do, I mean, $3 for a couple yards of fabric, nice and easy. But you can again use any colors you want, but this is going to be kind of like a candy cane pillow, so I'm going red and white, or cream and white. So what I did initially as I moved Bella on our pattern is I made a pattern here. It's 21 across by 21 inches tall, just a nice square pattern. And then I took a ruler and I measured out 3-inch increments on the diagonal all the way across. And then what I did is, of course, using both fleece fabrics, what I wanted to do is just cut 6 of each fabric the same length, and then we'll cut off the excess when we need it. So I measured from corner to corner on our piece and added about 1 inch. Okay, so I cut all my strips, which for this, if you do this size 21 by 21, it's 30 inches, and then I added an inch. So 31-inch long strips at 3 inches wide, 6 of the cream, and then 6 of that red. And then Bella wants my fleece fabric. Hey, it's not a professional video, as I always say. You're going to get real life when I'm crafting. So after you cut that, then you want to cut 2 additional pieces out of the red that's 21 inches long and 8 inches wide. This is going to be like the end of our peppermint candy, right? So obviously our main goal here is we want to alternate our cream and red strips. Doesn't matter which color you start with or whatever, you just want to alternate the colors. So to start, if you're a gluer, you're going to do right sides together, pretty sides together, and you're going to glue right down the long edge of one strip right close to the edge. I, of course, am taking mine to the sewing machine and I'm sewing right down the edge about 1/4 inch in the long edge all the way down till I reach the end. Now for the remainder of this pillow, I'll just do all the rest of the sewing off camera. You get the drift. All right, so once this is done, I'm going to show you the next step. Gluers and sewers, I've got my seam all the way down. You're going to open it up, right? And you're going to take your next color, alternating colors. You're going to lay right sides together, pretty sides together. You're going to glue or sew all the way down that strip. Open it up, add your next alternating color, glue or sew down that end, and you're going to do this process to get all your colors done, which is 12 pieces. This is what it looks like, and Bella's sleeping on the side. Now what we want to do is take our 21 by 21 inch pattern, and remember I did these 3-inch wide strips. Turn it to a diamond so that your drawing on your pattern is the same direction as the stripes that you sewed together, right? And just kind of center it. And then you're going to pin it, of course, and then cut off all that excess material. All right? Nice and easy. This is what it looks like. We have our 21 by 21 inch square. Our stripes are now on the diagonal. Now what we want to do is add in those 21 by 8 inch wide red pieces, right? So you just got 2 of them. You're going to lay right sides together, okay, right at the edge, just like that, long side to long side, and you're going to glue or sew all the way down that edge, just like that, nice and easy. Left side, right side, or if you started on the right side, left side. All right, again, I'm going to take mine to the sewing machine and get that done. Okay, so here we are, it's all done. We've got this piece with our ends on it. Our stripes are in the center. We got solid on one end, stripes, and solid. You can use any fabric for this. I just wanted it to be fuzzy and fleecy. Now what you're going to do with your red strips on each end, you're going to fold it in half, match up your seams where you did the red, to the red and white stripe, and then you're going to just glue it or sew it all the way across. Okay, you're going to leave that short end open. So glue or sew all the way across, making sure you kind of match up your seams there, right? Nice and easy. And of course, yes, take mine off camera and do that. Sew it. And here is what it looks like sewn all the way across. So when you're done, you essentially have a tube. Okay, you can put your arm all the way through your tube. Now what you want to do, this is optional, but if your ends look nice and cut, you can just leave it. But I'm going to go ahead and fold mine in just to finish them off. And what I'm actually doing first is I'm laying my seam flat open and I'm just gluing that down. It just helps for easier to fold this over. So if you're a gluer or sewer, you want to do this, just fold that whole end over about a 1/2 inch and glue or sew it closed. It's nice and easy, just finishes it off. Again, if your cut looks nice, you can just leave that raw edge open and you don't have to worry about this part. Like I said, it's optional. So here's what it looks like all sewn and ready to go. And then what we're going to do, this part's easy. We're just going to take it, turn it right side out. We've got this one long, giant candy tube here. And we're going to close off our ends, okay? So what I want to do, I'm going to make this real easy as well. We want to kind of gather the ends so we have that little, wrapper look at the end, right? And I'm going to use some of this fluffy yarn that I have. You could use whatever yarn you want. I just thought this would look cute. There's this kind of fuzzy yarn or this braided almost looking yarn. You could use regular yarn, whatever you want. And I'm going to cut about 2 24-inch pieces, which is more than I need, but just want to make sure I have enough. And then we're going to come to the end. I'm just use some small rubber bands. And I chose the thicker yarn too, not one only because it's cute, but two because I don't have any clear rubber bands. And I'm just going to take about each end, and I'm going to like triple my rubber band around it, twisting it, getting it nice and secure. Okay? But actually, I lied. I'm going to do that on both ends, but I'm only going to start with one end. And then you're going to stuff it, and then you're going to add your rubber band to the other end. All right? And I just, stuff right to that juncture of the red and the red and white stripe. Now, when I stuffed it really full. So I actually ended up with about the rubber band. I moved it down and ended up from the seam on the red to the rubber band about 4 inches. If you know what I mean. So from about 4 inches from the seam of the red to the rubber band of fabric out. And then I'm taking this fuzzy yarn and I'm just going to tie a little bow at each end. And then I'm going to cut off the excess on the tails, leave them as long or short as I want. I really love the fluffy of this yarn. I get it at Walmart, by the way, as bows at each end. I know this pillow is just really simple in design, but it's so cute. And if you were able to get 2 of those like blankets from Walmart at $3 a piece, you could make at least 4 pillows really quick. You could probably get it done in just a day or 2. I think this time from start to finish, maybe an hour, hour and a half per pillow, so it'd be really quick. Cute hostess gifts, last minute gifts, really fun. That makes this project complete. So I really hope you enjoyed all of these projects. I just think they're fun, they're easy, they're cute last minute gifts or just fun addition to your own home decor. Please give this video a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below and let me know which project is your favorite, which one do you think you would actually like make right now in just a little bit of time before Christmas as a gift or to throw in your own home decor. If you walked in here for the first time, you're just checking things out and you're digging what you saw, make sure before you click off, you hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on another video from me. Remember, before I give you my final thought, I will see you back again on December 30th. I give you big squeezy hugs, and I wish you all a very merry, blessed Christmas. Here's our final thought. Today is the day. Have your mind set upon it, your heart resting in its hope. Today, think positively that God always hears you and has only the best interest in his mind for your life. No matter how he chooses to focus your day, know that he loves you no matter what. But in that, you also have to think positive that today, if you are facing a difficult challenge, he will part the Red Sea, allowing you to walk through on dry land as you reach the other side. God will close the waters over your enemies so that they will be no more. It's important to set your focus one day at a time and rely on God's grace and mercy for what he has in store for you. Life is full of ups and downs, hurts and happiness, laughter and tears, and it can seem especially daunting when you hurt, are in pain, fearing what may come next. But remember this, God loves you, and you will be healed in his perfect timing and in his perfect way. He's got you, and he's got your healing. Today, you have to make your mind set knowing this, believing this, and relying on him. Don't let go of what God has for you. Don't let go of God, and don't let go of his hope. The word hope means to have a confident expectation of God's faithfulness and what he has promised. So even if you're tired and maybe you feel like you can't take much more, allow your faith to cling to his hope. Allow your heart to be set free of any pain or fear that you may be feeling, and let your heart feel his love. Let it feel God's love for you. Let your heart and mind trust in God's plan for your life. Don't doubt his plan for your future. Be confident that today is a new day with a hope to face tomorrow. Be confident that you are not alone with what you are facing, and you never will be, because God has you. And with God, all things are possible, including his promise of hope. I thank you for sharing your time with me, and I'll talk with you again soon. Bye.